Hello. Well, tell me, what do you understand with the word capacity, the word building, and now the two, capacity building? Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to take this chance to wish you a very happy Easter season, and welcome to yet another amazing episode of the T.O.T. The thoughts of thinkers. This is the show where I tend to share the realities of thoughts. I speak from my mind, inspired by your thoughts, and guided by God's wisdom. I'm your host, JAMM Leki Kush, and this is the 7th episode of the T.O.T, where I want us to think about capacity building. What does it all entail? It's a very crucial thing in life that most of us may be having no understanding or different kind of understanding about it. But hey, I know this analogy by JAMM Leki Kush is gonna be interesting. Because what is capacity building? Let me take it in a very obvious way. The word capacity could mean space. So, for instance, a glass has a capacity that can hold water up to the level of 250 ml. A bowl has a capacity, or rather may have a capacity, because they're different bowls anyway, may have a capacity that can hold 500 ml of water. But now, when you're taking water, for you to make a choice between whether to use a glass or to use a bowl, you need to consider one thing called necessity. So, rather, what you need. Do you need a lot of water? Do you need just enough water? So if you need a glass of water, consider using the glass. If you need more water, consider using a bowl. What's my point with this? Whenever the necessity is more than the existing capacity, that is when capacity is expanded. But if at all the necessity is not there, the capacity will not be expanded. And basically, that's how it happens in our lives. So, let me bring this analogy into a real life situation. Now, the moment you have a capacity to handle some things, it means that there are responsibilities you need to take care of. That capacity that you have is able to accommodate a certain level of responsibilities. And this level of responsibilities has an equal measure of challenges that you also need to handle. And that's how life serves us. Up to a certain level of life, up to a certain capacity, it will serve you with certain responsibilities and equal measure of challenges. So you need to take care of these responsibilities, and you also need to resolve or find a solution or find a way on how to work out these challenges. That way, you will open another level of life. where the capacity will be added. It's just like the gamings we do. You start with level 1. If you're not able to finish the game and work with the rules of the game within that level, maybe level 1 you're given, it's very easy to handle. For instance, if it's this I don't know, it's called the fruits what? I can't recall that game, but or rather Candy Crush, yeah. That game, if at all you are not able to crush the candies at level 1 within the given time and with the given rules, then level 2 is not open for you. That is how capacity building works. If at all you have not been able to handle things at the capacity that you are in, don't expect to be taken to the next level of life. And this is the thing most of us ignore, but it really matters. You see, the moment you have responsibilities and challenges, and you have been able to be responsible enough to meet these responsibilities, and you have been wise and strong enough and knowledgeable enough to handle these challenges, then you'll be taken to another new level of life. More responsibilities will be added unto you, and more challenges will also be added unto you. That's when you know your capacity has been built. Where is the necessity in this case? The necessity came in the moment you are able to complete that level successfully. The moment you are able to handle those responsibilities and those challenges successfully, that is when the necessity was created. But the moment you're not able to handle that, the necessity is not going to be created, and you're going to remain stagnant at that level of life that you're in. And remaining stagnant at a certain level of life, that is what is referred to comfort. And most people get to a certain point in life and they feel, I just don't want more responsibilities, I just don't want more challenges, and so they get to the comfort zone. And that is why you may grow up seeing someone, and by the 10 years down the line, you see they're not making any progress, or rather you realize you have not seen any reasonable progress in that person's life. It's because they got to a certain level and they were not able to handle the responsibilities fully, and were also not able to handle the challenges fully, and they decided, you know what, let me pause. Just as Candy Crush, when you get to a certain level that is seemingly difficult, you try it once, you fail, you try it again, you fail, then you decide, you know what, I'm done with this game, let me pause. So the people who get to such a point and then they pause for the rest of their lives. And the moment you pause, let's take the scenario of Candy Crush still. The moment you pause that game, you stay for long without playing. You may actually realize that when you try to play it again, even that level where you stopped at, it will be difficult. So you'll be forced to play lower levels. And that is the point where in most people's life, because they've been so stagnant and they decided not to push further, they get to a point in life and they are not even able to handle something they were able to handle before. And so they have to console themselves by going to a lower level. Before you know it, you're back to almost zero at your old age. just like in the Candy Crush. Let's say you stopped at level 50 and you remain there stagnant for long. When you try to come back to play that level 50, it will be more difficult than it was the moment you had the momentum. So you'll be like, let me try level 49. And you realize as much as you had opened this level, you had successfully played it before. Right now, when you try to repeat it, inakuwa ngumu. It becomes difficult. So you are going to realize that a level that you are comfortable with playing, maybe it's level 30. So you're 20 levels down. That's how lives happen. If you don't build your capacity and you get to a point you remain stagnant and decide not to build, then whatever you have built may start wearing out. So mind about your capacity building. And as I wind up on this, now this I want to caution or maybe enlighten people, make people realize maybe why their prayers are seemingly not answered. Or maybe they don't get what they want. Let me give you a very simple example. You get to a relationship with someone, something happens, you break up. Then you decide not to accept that situation. You decide to actually hate relationships. So it's just like you have decided to remain stagnant. The moment life pushes you, or the moment you try to revisit the same idea, and remember, you have never accepted. It's a challenge that came along your way, but you never accepted to handle it the way it should be handled. So the moment you try, you get yourself to another relationship, something even smaller than whatever made you break up in the first relationship will come, shake you, and you're out again. And then you say, this thing do not work. Yet, how things should be is that you get to such a level, you had broken, fine. It's a process to heal. But the process is all about acceptance. That process, it is what shows your capacity to deal with challenge. So the moment you're able to overcome that challenge and you are healed and you have taken lessons from that relationship, then there'll be the necessity, your heart will be ready for the next level. The necessity will be there, and whoever knocks next to have a relationship with you, you'll be open to them. But this time round, you'll be wiser because you're in a higher level, having learned successfully from the challenges that you dealt with in the previous level. And with growth, with the more you build your capacity, the more responsibilities come, the more you become a strong person, the more you become a firm person in terms of decisions, because there are so many responsibilities and you have to make firm decisions for you to be able to handle the next responsibility. But the moment you decide you're just going to stress yourself with one challenge, you still have 100 other challenges to tackle. So you have to tackle things with finality and firmness. And that is why people who have had great capacity building and they are in high levels of life, they usually seem tough. It's because of growing into it. And that is all about capacity building. That's my take. Enjoy your Easter season and be blessed.